And first is Ray AMATO of Hallandale, Florida. Working for his father as an apprentice for 3 years, Ray AMATO Sr. had begun his craft on racehorses aqueduct in 1949. His impressive resume started to develop after he worked fitting shoes for Hall of Fame trainer Hersh Jacobs. The work that AMATO provided for Jacobs led to him shoeing for other notable clients, including Bobby Frankel, Baz Ferrara, and Frank Pancho Martin. AMATO handled any champion horses, is known for his being friendly as well as being professional. His success as a farrier has resulted in track records set throughout the East Coast, such as the first filly to win the Belmont in more than 100 years. Welcome him into the Hall of Fame and play this video.
I've known Ray AMATO since 1989 when I first came to Belmont Park to work for Wayne Lucas. That's when I first got to know who he was, and very prominent blacksmith for a number of large stables, and became friendlier with him and started working with him in January of 1996 when I opened my own stable, and he became our blacksmith at that time. Well, I think there's many reasons why Ray AMATO should be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but first and foremost is his passion for his trade. And I don't think that I know anyone who enjoys their work as much as he does, takes as much pride in their work as he does, and just thoroughly enjoys shoeing horses. So I think it's fantastic for anyone in life that can find something that they can do for a living that they truly embrace and love, and that personifies Ray. Well, it's very rewarding for us that he was able to shoe Super Saver before he won the 2010 Kentucky Derby. Another would be Rags to Riches, being the only filly in over 100 years to win the Belmont Stakes. So he's been responsible for shoeing most of our horses during all of this time, but I think those would certainly stand out as the two of his many highlights. I can't think of anyone else who would be more deserving of being inducted into the Hall of Fame than Ray AMATO.
No, Ray was unable to join us today. Okay, next. Margie GUSTAFSON, Woodside, California. Margie has been shoeing since 1982 and has been a certified German farrier since 1991 and the AFA's tester from 1991 to 2019. She has been involved with the Western States Farriers Association since 1989. She's co-coordinated the Northern California Classic for 7 years with fellow Hall of Famers Alice Johnson and Mike DiLeonardo. She served on the WSFA board for 4 years and continues to host and support continuing education opportunities. Along with her full-time farrier practice and her volunteer work, she has brought 3 horses to FEI and is working with her horse Allure on FEI Grand Prix Dressage and plans to show him this summer. More than a farrier and a horsewoman, she is a writer, educator, producer, lecturer, clinician, philanthropist. And for the past 25 years, she and her Hall of Fame husband, Don, have donated their farrier services for all the horses at the National Center for Equine Facilitated Therapy. Throughout the AFA's 49-year history, she has been the only woman to lead the association as president, which was in 2016. She started her AFA leadership serving 2 years on the board of directors before becoming vice president and then her 4-year term on the executive committee. Other AFA's rules include 6 years as sponsorship chairman, years as communications chair, 26 years as the rules committee member. And we'll play this video now for Margie.
I met Margie Lee in 1983 when I went on a trip. She had been shoeing her own horse when she was disappointed with her horseshoer. And she ended up coming down and apprenticing with me for a year. It isn't surprising to me that she's getting inducted into the Hall of Fame because once she left me, she hit the ground running. She started her business in San Francisco, performance horseshoeing, and she just kept going from there. So in 92 through 95, she competed in Calgary. She was in the top 20 in the 93 competition for AFA. She's been the sponsorship chair committee person. She ran the WSFA competitions with Alice for years. Of course, she was the AFA president, the only female president so far. But I think the thing about Margie is that everybody she meets, she ignites. So when you're at a competition or an event with her, she is such a great ambassador to the whole industry because she's professional, she's intelligent, she has had a fantastic business in her area forever. I mean, I can't say enough about her.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. Hello, Margie darling. It's Ada Potato, a.k.a. Ada Gates Patton. You have for years done unbelievable jobs, numerous clinics all over the place, years as a tester for the AFA. Last year, when I couldn't come to the convention because I was ill, you jumped in and you took over the entire auction. You've always been a mentor. You've always been a teacher. We're so lucky to have you, darling. And I'm so proud of you for being our great leader and my best friend ever.
Now, I thought that we were going to be at the Kentucky Derby Museum because that's where we're supposed to be inducted into, and so I brought my derby hat. But because my hair looks so good, I'm not putting my derby hat on. So, okay, there's so many things that I can tell you about my life and my experiences, and how I got to here. But I think I can tell you a long story. I can tell you a short story. I don't know how much time do I have. No, he said I don't have your time. You have to go to the short notes then. Okay. Okay, I just want to tell you that I've always loved horses. I mean, I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I loved them when they were plastic. I loved them if they were a drawing. I loved them if they were in books. I loved them if they were in the movies, and I loved them if they were real live ponies to start. And then I loved them as great big horses. I didn't know that I would become, I didn't even know that I wanted to be a farrier, God. Or that I would be a farrier until I learned that a farrier could really make a difference in my own horse. The more I learned, the more I loved it, and I had to become a farrier. And that's kind of like my entire journey through horseshoeing, through helping horses by giving back. The most important thing to me about everything that we do is that we make it better for the horse. We make it better for the lowest horse at the lowest level. Because everybody here who gets educated, your education is going back to where you come from. And you're going to touch somebody you don't even know you touched, and they're going to learn something from you, and they're going to apply it to a horse, and it's going to help that horse. And so that's why I've done everything that I've done. And I didn't set out to do any of it. I didn't set out to run the NCC with Alice, but it came our way and we're like, yeah, what the hell? We can do that. Yeah, we can run a competition, sure. And we took it on, we had a blast. We were like kids in a candy shop. And then Bill Searle looks at me at an AFA general membership meeting, says, hey Mark, you run for the board? And I had no idea what that meant, so I said, sure. And then in my second year, nobody ran for vice president. And so Tom Troza said, Marg, you want to be vice president? I said, sure. He said, you sure going to stick it out for 4 years? And I said, yeah, I know what we're looking at. We all have a direction we want to go in. And so I got aboard that train. And I think through all the work that we did on everything that I've done, was because I loved it. Not because I had to or I needed to. It was because it came my way and because I was open for it. I was open for the challenge. I was open for the hard work. I was open to give whatever I could give to this industry, to this trade, to my fellow farriers, to make it easier for all of us. Education makes it easier. And so pay it forward, share with other people, be kind to other people, say hello to other people. If there's someone who looks like they don't know anything, go say hi. Can I help you? But I think for me, at this point in my life, I'm 60, don't tell anyone, but I am. And at this point in my life, I think that the most important thing for me is to go forward with love and to put that out. And you can use that any way you want. Take it any way you want, take it any way that works for you. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted, this was the most important thing, Jeremy, but since you had me short with my notes, now I have to look through my notes. Okay, which one is the most important? Okay, okay, I found it. Okay, so what I think is that I'm a drop of water, and you're a drop of water, and you're a drop of water, and you're a drop of water. And we all get dropped at different places, and we all ripple out. And our ripples just keep on going, keep on touching people. And I touch you so that you may improve the way you touch the horse. Thank you.
Another milestone, the first husband and wife team. Next, we welcome David Nichols, West Sussex, England. Since 1990, David Nichols has operated a farrier practice, a multi-farrier business with specialization in therapeutic treatment. He also serves as associate of the Worshipful Company of Farriers. He is the technical director of Total Foot Protection Limited, a farrier and vet supply business. He is a member of the British Farriers and Blacksmiths Association, liveryman of the Worshipful Company of Farriers, Freedom of the City of London, and a member of the Equine Lameness Prevention Organization. David is committed to sharing his in-depth knowledge of hoof care with others and is constantly looking for new ways to provide farriers, horse owners, trainers, and veterinarians with the most recent information on how to treat and prevent lameness in horses. To do so, he gathers a variety of data from both farriers and horses to further develop his research on hoof concerns, a process which allows him to regularly provide outstanding care for all horses. We'll play a video now of David into the Hall of Fame.
I met David Nichols 25 years ago at the Laminitis Symposium in Louisville, Kentucky. Over the years, we've become very good friends. We've together sponsored educational events in Europe, as well as here in the United States. You know him by his appearances here at the Hoof Care Summit. He's been on numerous panels for his wisdom on various issues, and he's been a speaker on various topics over the years. He is so respected for his wisdom that he finds himself being a sounding board for a lot of his peers on personal and business matters. I've seen him as a father figure for young aspiring farriers. I've seen him a brother to others, and he's a friend to everyone who knows him well. In a group over a beer, you'll see him sharing his life experiences, and he'll keep you in stitches all night long. And on the other hand, in a board meeting, at the end of the day, wise, common sense decisions are what he's going to bring to the meeting. I've always looked at David as one of the more important people in this industry as a contributor, non-biased in all issues, and his openness to see new and different things certainly puts him in good position to be in the Hall of Fame. And there's no one more deserving, in my opinion, for this award.
Well, they told me I wasn't allowed to speak for very long. So, here goes. Firstly, I'd just like to thank everybody here for being a part of my life. And when Frank rang me, it was a bit of a shock. It's one of the few times in my life when I've actually been short of words to say. Most people that know me know that I can talk for England and probably America as well, most of Europe. So, being speechless was a new thing to me. Anyway, I really never really considered myself a worthy candidate to be in the Hall, so I had to thank the members of the Hall of Fame for putting my name forward and giving this honour today. It does mean a huge amount to me. I've spent over 50 years in the industry now, and some say it's like a lifetime achievement award, but don't write me off yet, because I still share the same passion as all of you here. And I get up every morning thinking, yes, another day in here, and get really excited about going out horseshoeing, and still have, always have done and still do. This induction is a tribute really firstly to my wife Tricia, who smooths out life's wrinkles and ensures my life moves forward unhindered. And they say behind every successful man there's a good woman, and she is a good woman, trust me. She's looked after me when I've been injured, guided me when I've lost focus, and I thank you, darling. My business partners, Mark Briggs and Mike Williams, we've been friends, not just business partners, for a long time now. And also I'd like to thank all the members of Total Foot Protection and the other 6 members of the Farriers practice, all of whom have already sort of been on Facebook wishing me luck. So. I have to thank, a very special thank you to the whole of the Ovnicek family who invited me into their lives a number of years ago, and it's their care, inspiration that has helped me move forward and driven my excitement and desire for education. I have other people to thank too, because the list is endless, but I'm going to cut this down to just small things. I think all the people that have shared their knowledge with me deserve a thank you. The equines that have contributed to me so much. Every time you shoe a horse, it has some contribution to your life. I started, my first ride on a horse at 3.5 years old, and they've contributed to me for pretty much most of my life now. I hope in some way that I've managed to enrich their lives too. All my friends and colleagues in the Worship Company of Farriers, the British Farriers and Bachelor Association, also a special mention to all the members of the Equine Lameness Prevention Organisation. All these people have given me such support over the years that it makes it easy to go to work. And in fairness to them, they don't realise how much energy I suck from them just so I can go and do the things that I do every day. I give tribute also to the paraprofessionals who are free to give me their time, explanations, and indulge me when I haven't been the easiest person to work with. We all have bad days sometimes, and when you're tired and up against it, you may not give people the benefits that they deserve. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Leicester Publications, all the staff who organise and run the International, group guests, some in particular Frank and Jeremy, who I look on as friends and colleagues. But they've given me an enormous amount of time and also the opportunity to speak here and impart some information to you all. So actually it's with honour and a privilege that I humbly accept this induction into the International Horseshoeing Hall of Fame. And I thank you all for being here to witness this and be a part of my day. Thank you.
He's been involved with the Ohio Quarter Horse Congress, Connecticut Horseshoers Association, and Southern Farriers Association. He's also led or participated in many clinics over the years, including Amelbrand, Farrier Supply, and Oklahoma Farrier Association clinics. He graduated from the North Texas Horseshoeing Institute and has shot at the Denver National Western and pre-Denver Quarter Horse shows for many years, as well as the AQHA World Championships. For 3 consecutive years, Terry was a conference speaker at the Cornell University Conference. He is known for his attention to detail and mentorship skills, which show through his one-on-one tutoring with farriers in Richmond, Kentucky at the Kentucky Horseshoeing School, and time spent offering hands-on shoeing seminars. Terry works alongside countless veterinarians to ensure the well-being of all horses and is a firm believer that the horse is always the true client. And we'll watch this video to welcome Terry into the Hall of Fame.
Terry lived in the same town I did in Somers, Connecticut. He lived in Rockville and I lived in Somers, which are back-to-back towns. And I used to do a lot of backyard horses at the time. And Terry used to go to all the little Gymkhana horse shows and he used to ride. And one day I'm shoeing his neighbor's horse and he came up and was watching me. And from that time on, I met him there every time I shod the horse. He was so interested in shoeing. As time went on, Terry went to horseshoeing school. After that, he started shoeing backyard horses, and he got pretty busy. And as time went on, he met a horseshoer called Bill Brown. And Bill at the time was probably the best horseshoer in the area. And he had a chance to ride with Bill. And Bill kind of finished him off, which meant that he got him from the horseshoeing school way to actually going out there and doing it professionally. And he became a real good horseshoer. He always treated his customers with very professional manner, and they respected him for that. And if he had any other horseshoer that had problems that needed help, Terry was right there to help him. He worked with a lot of veterinarians. They all respected Terry. I think Terry's a good candidate for the Hall of Fame for a couple of reasons. One, he's always willing to help someone. He was getting young guys out of Miss Taylor's school in Kentucky and working with them for a day or two at one of his big stables that he was shoeing close by. Terry shod horses over 35 years for the Quarter Horse Congress. He also did the AQHA World Championship show for at least a number of 30 years. He was always there, and if somebody had a horse that needed to be trained, he was always there to help them. Horse needed to be loaded, he was there to help him. I mean, he was an all-around horseman.
Never expected anything like this. Wow. First, I guess I'd like to thank the International Horseshoeing Hall of Fame for thinking enough of me that you would go ahead and have my name put up there as having this great honor. I'd like to thank Frank Lessiter and his wonderful staff for going ahead and bringing all this together for young horseshoers, old horseshoers, veterinarians, and everybody that's interested in the industry as far as the equine podiatry goes. I'm not much of a speech maker, but there's quite a few people that I like to go ahead and mention that have been very instrumental in my life as far as where I went. I got out of service in 1967 after the Vietnam situation and whatnot. And my passion has been in horses since I was a little kid. I grew up with them. My father started in the coal horse industry in 1955 and got me into showing horses and so on and so forth. So anyway, I bumped into George back in 1968 and was riding horses for a second-time job. Ended up in Connecticut through being hired from Pratt Whitney Aircraft because I had 3.5 years of service in the aircraft industry with B-52s, B-47s, and KC-135 retail aircraft. I did 3 tours in Southeast Asia, came back, and got involved more and more with the horses, and like I say, bumped into George Fitzgerald, and then I wanted to go ahead and have George help me, and George says, hey, go to horseshoeing school. He says, when you come back, you'll be worth something to me. So I went to horseshoeing school in Grapevine, Texas. I wanted to go to Cornell, but Cornell at that time only took 2 students, and they were booked up for about 4 years, and I didn't want to wait that long. So anyway, one day I was working for Pratt Whitney. They'd take me off the first shift and or second shift and put me on the first shift in about a year and a quarter, and one thing or another. I was a quality control inspector. I think that helped me a lot in the horseshoeing industry because it taught me to go ahead and pay a lot of attention to detail. So I went to horseshoeing school, come back, worked a little bit with George, and the next thing you know, he already had a couple of guys that were working for him, one thing or another, and Bill Brown took me under his wing, and he had graduated through Ralph Hoover School in 1955, and was an outstanding student at Ralph's school, and the rest of it is pretty much history. I walked into Pratt Whitney one day, and I said to my lead man, I says, I want to go ahead and give you my notice. And he says, you haven't been here long enough to go ahead and end up getting a vacation. I said, no, I said, I don't want a vacation. I said, but I need to see the supervisor. So anyway, he sent me up to the supervisor, great big little stout guy, probably about in his early 60s, didn't have too far to retire. And I walked up there and he said, Steve, he said, what can I do for you? Always smoked a cigar in his mouth, a little stogie about that long, always had it burning. He sit behind the desk and he said, what can I help you with? I said, I want to give you my notice. He says to me, he says, what do you mean? You ain't been here long enough to go ahead and get a vacation. I said, no, I said, I want to give you my notice to terminate. He gets up out of that desk, puts that stogie in his mouth, lights it up, walks up, and looks at me. He says, what do you mean you want to terminate? He says, we got big plans for you here at Pratt Whitney. I said, well, he says, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to go to horseshoeing school. He walked up and got about that far from my face. He said, young man, he said, let me tell you something. He says, airplanes are in and horses are out. He says, I want you to go down there and see Perry Gibbard and go ahead and talk to him. He was a horseshoer. He came to Pratt Whitney. Well, the long story was, I went ahead and sold the 2-year-old stud that I had that I'd been riding. I went ahead and sold the 29 Model A that I had that I built up into a hot rod, and the rest of it was history. So after that, I went ahead and everything just kept me involved in the horseshoeing business, and I'd like to go ahead and thank these people right here. I'd like to thank George Fitzgerald. I'd like to thank Bill Brown. I'd like to thank all these guys that have been very instrumental in where I've gone in the horseshoeing industry. I'd like to thank Joe and John Chris, Johnny Jenks, Al Pinson, who was my instructor in school, Reggie Kessler. Got Eddie Strain, we got Bruce Daniels, who was a real big instrumental deal for me, Jim Lindsay, Jim Keith, Doug Butler, Lee Lyles, Mark Milser, Arnie Javazio, Dwight Sanders, Ken Mangle, and the list goes on and on. William Russell and probably Ludwig were the 2 books that always stayed in my head, and I carried them with me for a long, long time to try to figure out a lot of this stuff. we didn't have, when I started out shoeing horses, this kind of a situation. The AFA was probably a big instrumental in teaching me a whole lot, because they were one of the first ones that put contests together and educational situations together, and then through the late 70s and the early 80s and middle 80s that I was just absorbed, couldn't get enough of. But anyway, I'm not going to take up any more time, and I'd like to thank my daughter, my grandson, and God bless you all.